The talk title is, Where Are You Going? And it's really based in this idea that so often we look outside of ourselves for the answers, for the direction, for the roadmap to our own lives. How many folks have self-help books on their shelf? How many have self-help books on their shelf that they never read? So glad I'm in good company. There's this thing inside of us called an ego. And when that gets paired up with social conditioning, we buy into the lie that we don't know what's best for us. And that's a complete lie, because ultimately you are the only one who really knows what your path is. Now that doesn't mean we don't need some ethical social standards to know how to behave on planet Earth. Okay? But sometimes people take things and they extrapolate them far beyond what I intend them to go. So let's be really clear. I'm not saying that we're setting up a purge, because that's not it. But your path, your expression of divinity is for you to decide. I have no idea what God intended, what Spirit intended, what creation intended when it smiled you into being, other than for it to experience itself as your life. Now think about it. If we all read the same book and we all start doing the same thing, Spirit's going to get a little bored with us. I'm just saying, millions of identical experiences. There would be no point to a diverse creation if that were the goal. There would just be the infinite still experiencing itself exactly as it knew itself. It wanted more. It wanted to know itself. And so the only way it can do that is to give creation free will. We touched on this a little bit last week. But where does our humanness connect with the divinity? That's the journey. And it's sometimes a complicated one for many of us. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm a little bit confused on what's my earth journey and what's my spiritual journey. And sometimes I get them flipped backwards. And sometimes I think the most important thing on earth is for you to approve of me. For you to like me. For you to invite me to your party. For you to invite me to the gathering after work. Even if I don't like you. I've had that conversation with a number of people. What are you so upset about? Because these people at work have these parties and they're going on hikes and they're going out to dinner and they never invite me. Okay, but every time you talk to me about the people you work with, you routinely say you can't stand them. Well, I can't. Well, then why do you want to go out to dinner with them? I don't. I just want them to invite me. I can tell by the laughter, you know exactly that place. Our invitation is to live beyond that earth silliness. And if we just can hold it lightly, we can see that it really is just earth silliness. Okay? We grow up learning to count the number of friends we have, as if our value is placed in that. I invite you to consider, if you have 0 friends on planet Earth and you meet your soul, are you not better off than if you have 1,000,000 friends on planet Earth and you spend an earthly lifetime not knowing who you really are? Something to consider. Ernest Holmes says this. This is from Living the Science of Mind, page 388. People are prone to say that they are alone, that they alone are right, or their system of thought alone is right. They have not yet gotten a clearance back of the foundational proposition that God is one, and that every human is an incarnation of the same God. Therefore, intolerance and harshness, unkindness and criticism, coldness and indifference are projected. And this is one of the tricks that the mind plays on us. When we understand these things, we become more tolerant, more kind, more compassionate, because we realize that we are all on the pathway of evolution, not of spirit, which is already perfect, but of the mind, which so often blindly gropes in the dark. We're not here to evolve our spirit. It has nowhere to evolve to. Perfection can't get any more perfect. So where is it going to evolve to? We're here to evolve our humanness. We're here to recognize that there is no one right way. If everyone in here is creation in form, there's this many right ways. But we get stuck in thinking my way is the right way. And when I do that, I have no option but to judge you as wrong. Because if I have set up a dichotomy of right and wrong, I can't be right unless you're wrong. Because I need wrong in order to make me right. Funny how that works. And so anytime, and I love, so many of us stand in this conversation of, well, I'm not trying to make you wrong, I just know I'm right. There's no way to be right without making someone else wrong. There's accuracy. There's correctness. If I'm baking a cake, I need to measure the ingredients. If I want the cake to work out well, it's probably a good idea that I pay attention to the accuracy of my measurements. But that doesn't make my cake right and your cake wrong. It's what we do with it afterwards that becomes problematic. We are a radically inclusive community here at Sierra. Now, radically inclusive is very different than like-minded. See, like-minded is safe. Like-minded is cozy. And like-minded can be very stagnant. Because if everybody thinks like me, how will I grow? I posted that on Facebook the other day, and my friend and one of my mentors, Reverend Ruth Barnhart from Santa Rosa, said, right, I would just be left with my own crazy shadow. Because when we stay in our comfort zone, that's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets. If you think you're going to stay in your comfort zone and grow, you've bought the biggest lie of all. Because you're comfortable. You know it. That's why it's comfortable. It's familiar. There's nothing new. Newness is a little uncomfortable, even if it's fabulous newness. Okay? If you buy that lottery ticket and you scratch off the numbers and you're $1 billion richer, you're excited. It's new. And that level of newness, I'll guarantee you, is going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to know what to do with it. And then right behind it, the chatter starts of all the rightness and the wrongness and all the protect and defend and all of the human stuff. Now that's not bad stuff. It's just human stuff. If we get out of labeling everything right and wrong, good and bad, then we can actually be with what it is. I'm excited. I'm in a whole new territory and I have no idea how to navigate this new part of the journey. Very different conversation than this is bad. This is bad just doesn't really say much of anything. Can you let yourself move beyond? Let go of the tidy little dismissive labels that give you permission to not be on your journey. Because that's what bad does. If I wake up in the morning and I turn the key to my truck and it doesn't start, is it a bad day? If I just go, it's a bad day, my truck won't start, well, I just stop there. And there I am, with a truck that won't start and no solution. If it's, my truck won't start, wonder what's up. And I stay in the inquiry, then it might be something really simple, like your truck is in reverse. And all you need to do is put it in park, and it'll start right up. But if I fail to stay in the inquiry and stay in the awareness of, then all I do is go back in the house and I call people and I can't show up, I can't keep any of my appointments because my truck won't start. It's too easy to just do good and bad. It's too easy to just do right and wrong. Radically inclusive means I include you no matter what your path is. Radically inclusive means I dare to see your oneness even when I don't agree with anything you say. That's radically inclusive. It's easy to include the people who behave in the way I think they should. Maybe it's just me. It's easy to include the people who believe like me. It's not so easy to include people who are radically different than us, who politically challenge us, who socially challenge us, who economically challenge us, who theoretically and in theology challenge us. But I assure you, if you will embrace those challenges, you will grow. Doesn't mean you will ever agree with them. Let's be clear, growth is not necessitated by agreement. It simply is being willing to look at you and see. Here's another thing Ernest Holmes says. The student should take every day to see his or her life as he or she wishes it to be. to make a mental picture. Pass this picture over to the law and go about your business. Now, to do that, you have to have some clarity. And when it's saying pass this picture over to the law, it's not talking about your wish list that you want to send to Santa Claus. Okay? It's knowing with conviction what is your life? What does your heart desire? What do you believe? Because I assure you, what the law is going to respond to is not, man, I really wish I could wake up in the morning and have $1 million. And as I fall asleep, I'm running a list of all the things I owe and all the reasons why I'm never going to get out of debt. What the law's responding to is our belief. It's the thing that holds the fire. It's the stuff under the water level on the iceberg. It's not the wishful thinking, because we don't even believe it. The law is responding to our beliefs. And so if I don't believe that I'm abundant, you can bet what will show up in my life is a lack of abundance. It doesn't mean I lack abundance. It means my belief system hasn't evolved to where I can receive the abundance that is mine. And so I can only create what I'm comfortable receiving. The mental picture has to shift. Our mental equivalent has to grow. So that when I go to bed smiling that I have no idea how my abundance is going to show up in my life, but I know when I wake up in the morning, it's another journey of experiencing my abundance. And I go to bed believing that. And when I wake up, my first thoughts are about, how's my abundance going to show up today? It doesn't mean I ignore my responsibilities. It means I stop living in the condition and the limitation and stand in the solution without having to have a roadmap. Because that's one of the downsides. That's that comfort zone. I want to know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, what it's going to look like, what it's going to smell like. Can I put it in a spreadsheet and track it? That's how I want the divine to answer all of my questions. And I hear laughter when I say that, because I know that's not how it works. When we plant seeds in our garden, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say not one of us goes out on an hourly basis and uncovers the seed to see how you doing. Are you germinating? Seed packets in 60 days. Well, it's, really, what's taking you so long? It's been 60 minutes. We don't do that. But we do that with our own lives because we get locked into time. The time space continuum illusion that we made up. The infinite doesn't live there. The infinite doesn't wear a Timex. It just doesn't. That's our thing. And we need it to structure our lives here on planet Earth. But don't use it to measure your spiritual journey. Let your spiritual journey unfold in its timing. Never forget in Self-Mastery, Reverend Joyce DeFala in Santa Rosa sharing with us that she was all plexed up about I don't have enough time to do this, and I don't have enough time to do that. And then she realized, that's not true. I'm an infinite being. I have infinity to do all of these things. I can garden into infinity. I can pull weeds into infinity. I can wash my car into infinity. There's plenty of time. And there actually is. Not one of us has the right answer. Not one. So don't look to anybody for your right answer. And you don't have a definitive right answer, because then evolution stops. But what you have is a correct answer for this moment. We can't live in the now. We can't live in the mystery and have it all figured out. Because then there's no mystery. So a couple of things to put this stuff into practice. Ask yourself, am I taking responsibility for cause, for my belief system, or am I reacting to effect? Which one am I doing? And you know, we all know. We want to not know sometimes. Which takes me to point number 2, tell the truth. Tell yourself the truth. You don't need to announce it from the rooftop, but you do need to tell yourself the truth. If you're continuing to struggle with something, you know why that struggle is happening. In the quietness of your own being, tell yourself the truth. Why? Because that's where your answer is. Now, you may not know why you're doing it, but you know what you're doing, and you see the outcome. Whatever is happening is causing an effect. Be honest about that. Tell yourself the truth. Then, quit looking for the answer and live in the question. What is available to me? What do I know? What can I shift? Stay in the question. How does the divine want to show up as me in this moment? Stay in the question. And you'll know what the next right thing to do is. But don't hold on to the next right thing in that moment as if it's the next right thing for every moment for the next 10 years. Because it's not. It's just that moment. And finally, pay attention to what you're paying attention to. Is your focus on your life or somebody else's life? Are you more upset when a celebrity who you've never met and had a conversation with passes away than your neighbor? Because some of us are. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. Where is your focus? Because that's where your energy is, and that's what you will grow. What are you fertilizing? Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. And finally, I'm going to close with this. It's not on here, but it's okay. Here we go. Biblically, the human race is referred to as sheep. If you know much about sheep behavior, not the brightest animal on the planet. Lead sheep goes, herd follows. Lead sheep goes off the cliff, herd follows. Lead sheep gets its head stuck in a fence, it will stand there and starve to death before it backs up. Where are you going? Who are you following? Let's take this into prayer. Remembering that there is only one infinite, ever-present source, and that I am in the company of it. Beautifully, exquisitely, magnificently individualized as each individual in this room. as each individual on this planet. The brilliant diversity of creation simply is everywhere present. Its nature is pure love, infinite abundance, infinite intelligence. Each expression of divinity knowing exactly where it's going and how to get there. Because that is its life. That is my life. So I speak my word, claiming and affirming that now is the time that we each focus on how the divine wants to show up as each of us. That we stand open in that question that says, how today? Show me today. Be me today. It simply allows us to live magnificently, brilliantly in the mystery as we unfold before our very own eyes. Grateful to know that this is how the law works. That what is spoken into it is instantly said yes to. Because it is the divine speaking to itself. It can never contradict itself. And it has already said yes to being fully, magnificently expressed as each and every being within the sound of my voice. And so in this gratitude, I release my word, which is the word of the one spoken as me, into the law, which already made it so. And I invite you, if you consciously embrace this as your prayer too, to join me as we anchor it by saying, and so it is.